that institute, that room is charged with prana. So I think we have the access to that immediately upon arrival. And if you're open to it, I think it's there for our use and absorption. The camaraderie I found in the mountains amongst the skiers and the snowboarders who basically dedicate their life to being in the mountain all season long and arranging their life so that they can be on the hill as much as possible day in, day out. I found that same sense of community and camaraderie amongst the people in Mysore. Right. You know, they were people who were prepared to make sacrifices and travel to go to a certain place where the activity they're interested in is happening at the highest level, and it's a very concentrated spot, and they're dedicated to going there and doing that on a regular basis. So I found real parallels, and as soon as I picked up on that, which I did quite quickly, you know, as you know, it's very easy to connect with people. There are a few practices, and you know, you're making friends all over the place. The purification power of the asana practice that we do is really overlooked, I think. In general, it's internal cleansing. You know, it's ultimately got nothing to do with what shape of the body you can make, because we're all built different. Every you know, you can line 10 people up along the wall of different builds and tell them to all do the same pose, and they'll all look completely different. So it's about what's happening on the inside. You take responsibility for your practice from day one. You learn what you learn, you memorize it, it's yours. Therefore, you know, it becomes an internal practice, and you basically don't need instruction apart from until it's time to learn something new. To me, this is how asana is supposed to be taught. Yeah. I now realize, I didn't realize that when I first started going to yoga classes, but since I took up this practice, I think like a lot of people, perhaps making that directional switch from always led classes to self-practice, we were kind of like, what do you mean I have to learn the practice and do it by myself? I kind of want you to walk me through it every time, you know. But you know, after that short little period of time that it takes to memorize it, the sense of freedom is incomparable. The other great thing it allows for is the individualization of the practice, and allowing the practice to be taught in such a way that's therapeutic for the student that's receiving it. Without sounding too cynical, I find myself a little torn about using my role as a teacher and sharing yoga as my primary source of income. I feel a little torn with that. It seems, you know, as yoga teachers these days, unfortunately, the only paradigm we seem to have to operate in is the commercial business entrepreneurial paradigm. Yeah. And that to me doesn't fit. And so
does it fit teaching?
It doesn't fit the purpose of yoga. Yeah. To me. Yeah. And so I'm moving towards looking at different ways of A, sustaining myself, so that B, I can be freer to share yoga on my own terms. Nice. And not on kind of commercial terms.